Friends, welcome to my workplace at Ranaghat, West Bengal, India. Let us observe this totally unedited surgery. This is the side port. First, I have made the side port. There is no leakage of aqueous. And now I have taken the keratome, a 2.8 millimeter steel keratome, and I am going to do the main incision. I usually do the main incision first and then the side port. But in this case, I have made the side port first and now I am going to do the main incision. So this is the 2.8 millimeter steel keratome and this is a biplanar incision. And now an air bubble is injected into the anterior chamber. Beneath this air bubble, trypan blue dye is applied over the anterior capsule. Because of the air bubble, the dye settles undiluted on the anterior capsule and the staining is very nice in a short time. The dye is washed out through the main incision. And now this is 2% hydroxypropyl methyl cellulose. Before that, this is adrenaline, and now 2% hydroxypropyl methyl cellulose replaces the air bubble and fills up the anterior chamber. I have taken the keratome again and enlarging the main wound by 1 cut, maybe 0.1 millimeter. Visco again, and now I take the Utrita forceps, make a puncture at the center, go to periphery, hold the capsular tag and do rhexis. Since the pupil is mid-dilated, I am going along the border of the pupil to get an adequate sized rhexis of about 5.5 millimeter. Visco again. Whenever the antechamber becomes shallow, inject visco. And now hydrodissection is to be done. I do hydrodissection with a 27 gauge cannula and BSS. In hard cataracts like this, the BSS is injected at multiple points. Small amounts of BSS is injected. The antechamber is then filled up with visco. And then I take two hooks, two Sinskey hooks, and rotate the nucleus bimanually. If you rotate the nucleus bimanually, stress on the zonule is much less. And now is the time to manage the nucleus. The exposed part of the tip has to be adequate. So the tip has been exposed to about 1.5 to 2 millimeter, and here it goes. The main wound has been enlarged to allow more leakage of fluid so that the main wound remains cool and wound burn is prevented. And now watch my technique, the submarine chop technique. The tip is buried in the substance of the nucleus. Now it goes through the nucleus towards the opposite equator. The chopper supports the opposite equator, and now as the handpiece reaches the opposite equator, the chopper is used to get a nice crack. The air bubbles are removed. I come to the other side. Once scalped, go to proper depth and hold the heminucleus, which is on the right side, and use the Mohantas chopper to get another crack and separate the two pieces. But the two heminuclei are not completely free in this case. There is a leathery band joining these two heminuclei. One heminucleus is chopped and a nice crack is obtained. Two scalps, and then I'm trying to separate the two pieces, but I could not. I come to the other heminucleus, go through its substance, use Mohantas chopper and divide it and to get a nice crack, and I get two free fragments. Not two free fragments, still they are joined to each other by leathery bands. Now what I do is I detach this brown, hard brown nucleus from its epinuclear shell and emulsify the nucleus, and thus I get decrease the mass. Now I come out, inject visco, and now my plan is to get a free fragment. I use two hooks, try to separate the pieces. See, but they are not separate completely. So I tilt and pull on heminucleus, pull on fragment. Still it is attached to the heminucleus placed superiorly towards 12 o'clock, and it's not free fragment, but I go to the apex, hold the apex and pull it, and the nucleus comes out. There is a lot of cavitation bubbles. This is because of the misjudgment, how much energy is to be applied. Whenever the energy application is more than required, this cavitation bubbles form. And now this is the other heminucleus. I lift it off and apply energy at the band that is joining these fragments, and they become free. And now I emulsify the pieces. Let me tell you the parameters. Ultrasonic energy used is 90% in continuous mode. Though it is in continuous mode, application of ultrasonic energy is intermittent, controlled by the foot switch. The machine being used is Faros from Oatly, and this is the epinuclear shell that is removed. Now I come to the other epinuclear shell, and as I try to remove it, I have a feeling that it may be dangerous to remove it. I may touch the posterior capsule. So I come out and I want to take help of visco, that is 2% SPMC. It is better that if we have a combination of chondroitin sulfate and sodium hyaluronate, then the posterior capsule is better protected. And now I use the handpiece to remove the epinuclear shell. And now I come out. There is some cortex left. So this is a visco. I have only one side port, and the size of this side port is such that a 23 gauge Simcoe, which is thin, will go through it. And now I am removing the cortex by the Simcoe. Now I go through the side port, and before that inject some more visco. Now I go through the side port and remove the cortex from 12 o'clock, 11:30, and now I can see some more cortex at around 10 o'clock. So let us see how it will be managed. I take the bimanual irrigation aspiration and I use the bimanual IA to remove this cortex. So whenever you use the bimanual having the main wound and the side port, the irrigation goes through the main wound and it lifts off the anterior wall of the main wound, and the leakage is not much and the antechamber can be maintained. Visco to fill up the antechamber and the capsular bag, and here goes a single piece monofocal aspheric hydrophobic intraocular lens, and the lens goes in the capsular bag. I rotate the nucleus, place the haptics at 1 o'clock and 7 o'clock meridian, and go behind the IOL, irrigate the capsular bag, because if the visco is trapped behind the lens, it can cause a rise of intraocular pressure. The patient may have STEMI corneal edema. The patient may have even pain. Now I am using bimanual irrigation aspiration to remove the cortex from some places and remove the visco at the same time. The visco is nicely removed at this time, and we are towards the end of the surgery. A bit of moxie is injected into the anterior chamber, and now the side port is closed by hydrating corneal stroma. And now a final lavage of the anterior chamber is done, and the anterior chamber is nicely formed. Few drops of moxie is applied over the ocular surface and the case is concluded. Thank you very much for your attention. Hope this video will help you in developing your surgical skills. This is a totally unedited, real-time video. I have not missed anything. Please learn the submarine chop technique for hard cataracts, because you apply all the ultrasonic energy within the substance of the nucleus and the cornea remains clear. If you take care of the cornea in other parts, if you don't touch the corneal endothelium with instruments, you will have a very clear cornea next day.